What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a story time for you guys that was sent in by a subscriber, which is actually pretty insane. It's about how his college roommates ended up running a casino in their dorm room for a bit. Obviously, I recommend not doing this, okay? It's probably better to stay in school than it is how to learn to operate an illegal casino. But it should be a pretty crazy story regardless. Before we get into it though, be sure to press the like button, otherwise no joke, no scam whatsoever. You are going to end up living in a van down by the river. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure to press the like button, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so as I said, this was a subscriber story that was sent in. This person was a freshman in college, and usually when you're a freshman in college, you kind of are forced to use the dorms that the college provides. They figure it's a better way to make sure you don't get too crazy out of control, you know, you'll actually manage to pass your classes without being so drunk that your blood alcohol rating is giving you a DUI taking a Scantron. But the one thing that also really sucks about it is you don't get to pick your roommates at all, and if you get bad luck on your assignment, then you're screwed. I had really bad luck on mine. It kind of killed the college experience for me. Anyways, the person we're going to be talking about today, this story is going to be called Sam, and he was a bit of a nerd, you know, he really wanted to get good grades, study a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you're at college, then that's the end goal, to get your degree, and you shouldn't definitely be focused on partying. But his roommates were almost the exact opposite, you know. They were there to have a good time, party, go crazy, and, you know, they let Sam know very early on that that was their plan. Which, I do have to give him kudos for at least being honest. At least they let him know that their room was gonna be crazy. They didn't pretend like everything was gonna be normal till his parents left. And honestly, it was okay. During the weekdays, they would, you know, reasonably quiet down at 9, 10 p.m., and on the weekends, he would just go somewhere else and study and whatnot while they partied. And there really was no issue, and the system worked for a while until obviously what this story time is about happened, and they ended up making a casino. So I'm from Nevada, I'm from Las Vegas, I've grown up here my entire life, and I didn't even realize that in most places, gambling is super illegal. You know, it's a lucrative thing to do. And one day, this Sam guy comes home, and in the living room of their dorm, they kind of had a living room with some stuff off to the sides, is a, you know, giant group of people, 15 people. They have a poker table set up, and all of his roommates are in suits dealing the cards and working, and everybody else is just kind of crowded around it. There's about 15 people in there. And obviously, Sam is super confused on what's going on because he had just come home to grab something and study a little bit, and all of a sudden there's a casino operating in the middle of his dorm room. So one of his other roommates pulls him aside and kind of explains that they decided to do a poker night in the dorm, and you know, they were wondering if Sam could get out of there because it was just going to be some of their friends. And obviously, Sam kind of buys this explanation for a second. He's like, oh, okay, you guys are having a poker party. I guess that makes sense, but whatever. But as they're talking, as they're having this conversation, the elevator up to the floor of the dorm they're on opens up, and there's two dudes standing there with another poker table, and they start walking it towards the door, and his roommate opens it and lets him in. And at that point, Sam kind of realizes that they're probably operating some sort of casino or something's going on, and he just decides that he's walking away, bro. He wants nothing to do with it, which is fair. You need plausible deniability. I had no clue that my roommates were running a casino in my dorm room, Mr. Dean. And he tells them straight up, if you guys get caught, you know, I'm not lying for you. If I get pulled aside and they ask me if I saw anything, I'm just going to explain what I saw, which I think is fair if you're operating an illegal casino. So he decides to get his stuff and go to the library and study there for the night, which is probably the best thing to do if your friends are being stupid. I will say this now, bro. Most of the stupidest things I've ever done have been because my friends were doing them, and it's not always a good idea. Yeah, if your friends say they're gonna run a casino in their college dorm room, it's okay to go to the library and study. That doesn't make you a baby. It makes you smarter than the people running a casino in the dorm room, I can promise you that. You know, never be afraid to go away from something that your friends are doing if it's stupid and gonna get you in trouble. And, you know, while he's there studying, nothing really goes on. He doesn't get any texts, no information, and he basically thinks everything's in the clear. He stays at the library till 9 p.m. when it closes down, and he starts to go back to his dorm room. And as he starts getting near the dorm room, he realizes realizes that, like, basically the entire school police department is in the parking lot of his building. And obviously, he gets really nervous. He knows that he left his roommates doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing, and now the entire school police department is outside. It's not too hard to piece together that they probably are related in some way. And he starts walking up to, like, try to go into the dorm room, and a cop asks him if he lives there. And obviously, he says he does. They ask to see his school ID and say his dorm room number. And when he mentions the dorm room number, the cop gets like this, wide-eyed look on his face, and he pulls him aside to like talk to him separately. So he kind of gets guided off to the side, and this cop starts asking him if he knew anything about what had gone down. And the Sam guy is pretty confused and is like, no, what do you mean? All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is actually a PlayStation gift card. I give away a gift card in every single one of these videos as a way to just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with notifications on. I really do appreciate all the support on the channel, and yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to click subscribe and turn on notifications. I literally give away money, so you got nothing to lose. And on that note, let's get back to the college casino. GG. And the cop says, well, there was an incident in your room, and we just kind of want to know if anything happened because we've basically got a lot of vandalism. And at this point, Sam decides that he's gonna come clean about everything that he's seen. He just knows his room's been vandalized, the entire school police department's there. It's probably not the time to like double down and try to hide stuff. So he explains that, his roommates said that they were having a poker night. They had brought in a second poker table. He decided he wanted nothing to do with it just in case and went to the library. And they believe him because, he's been at the library the entire night. He's coming back. He didn't know what was going on. And if he is secretly the mastermind of the casino, it would be really stupid to walk up to the police and say you're from the room with the casino in it. Like, obviously, he didn't really know what was going on. Otherwise, he would have just snitched on himself. And the cops basically tell him that he can't stay there that night. They're gonna have to, like, investigate it, and the room is not in a state to be stayed in. Like, I guess it had been that bad. So he asks if he can grab some of his stuff, and they're like, yeah, sure, but we have to escort you up and make sure there's nothing going on. And, the escorting up to your dorm room is very awkward when, like, you're the room causing the problem. And they get around the corner, bro, and it unironically looks like a mini tornado has gone off in this dorm room, bro. The, like, entire room is trashed. The furniture is all flipped over. The stuff that's not flipped over is broken. There's holes in the wall. It was like there was a rhino fight, dude. Animal Planet David Attenborough documentary out there. And he's obviously shocked. He's kind of just standing there for a second, and the cop's like, all right, man, you have to get your stuff. And he realizes then that all of his roommates are already gone, like nobody's there. And he's kind of like, oh my god. So he starts going over to his stuff, and most of it is pretty destroyed. He gets like his clothes and some books and whatnot, but his laptop had been broken. And he looks at the cop, and like, I guess the confusion in his face must have been clear, because the cop goes, oh, you don't know what happened? And he goes, no. And basically what was going on is obviously his roommates had been running a casino, and their plan was to, get people in, get them gambling, and then like cheat the game and get a bunch of money. Well, the only problem is when you're running a casino, when you're fixing games with real money, is that people really, really do not like to be cheated out of their money. Obviously, if someone catches on that a casino is rigged, they're going to be very upset. Like, just cheating people out of money in general is a bad idea, but especially when it's gambling, because people really don't like it then. And once they got caught kind of fixing the game, some of the people that were gambling confronted them. And instead of like, refunding them or kicking them out or anything like that, I guess his roommates had decided to, call him out and start like fighting with him. And at one point or another, one of his roommates ended up punching the person that they were cheating out of money, which is ballsy, bro, to just swing on somebody that you're cheating out of money in your casino. Here's your customer service. This is like the opposite of a Karen. And at that point, everything just started going out of control and everything went insane. Like, basically everybody that was in the casino started just going wild because mob mentality kicked in. And once that kicks in, it's all over. Like, once one person is being an idiot and trashing stuff, it's just all downhill from there, dude. People started throwing things, punching holes in walls, and at that point, the ruckus became so severe that the RA had come to, like, check out what was going on. He's hearing all this ruckus, and when the RA comes, he obviously tells that there's a casino going on, and there's also a bunch of fighting going on, and he says that he's gonna call the school police. And when that happened, everybody starts running, but for some reason, his roommates stayed. And when the school police came and knocked on the door and were, like, asking for an explanation, they just denied it and tried to say that the RA like imagined everything. Obviously that didn't fly because they could see that the state of the dorm room had been just like absolutely destroyed, you know? It was pretty easy for the cops to like look over their shoulder and just see everything smashed. And they had been taken in to get questioned. So he gets his stuff, he gets out of there that night, he stays at a friend's place. And you know, surprisingly, like he's kind of just in shock for a bit. His roommates end up getting expelled pretty quick. That's definitely a no-no. Running illegal gambling rings in your schools, just not a good idea. You can't be running a casino in your dorm, especially when you start riots in it. And it's also just not a good idea to run a casino where you're gonna cheat people. They're lucky all that happened was their dorm room got destroyed. You know what I mean? You know, maintenance must have been so confused, bro. They're like, God, man, I knew college kids could party, but back in my day, even we didn't do this much damage. This is brutal. Sam didn't end up getting in trouble. It was pretty obvious that he had nothing to do with it. And even his roommates that got trouble and like did get screwed over, well, I guess not screwed over. They got what they deserved. They ended up telling the school that he had absolutely nothing to do with it. So he had been like reassigned to a new dorm, but it was in the same building. And the only problem was that everybody in that building thought that he had been involved somehow and like had just gotten out of trouble because he was the mastermind. So as soon as he didn't have to be in the dorms anymore, like once that year ended, he got out of there because it was just insanely awkward. But regardless, dude, that's the tale of somebody running a casino in their dorm room. Moral of the story, truthfully, as someone from Las Vegas, gambling's a touchy industry, you know, but if you're gonna do it, don't cheat people, because that's how you lose kneecaps, bro. Haven't you guys seen the start of Fallout New Vegas? That's what goes on, all right? It's just not worth it, especially in your college dorm room. You know, that must have not been a pleasant conversation to have with their parents. Yeah, mom and dad, you know the tens of thousands of dollars you just spent? I blew it because I decided to run a casino. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking just a quick second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. And of course, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss another post. I'm gonna plug something really quick that I haven't in a bit. I ended up putting some of the story times on Spotify so that way you guys could like download them, listen to them offline and whatnot. I will put a link to that in the pinned comment down below, so feel free to go check that out. Other than that, the intro song will be in the description along with the link to the merch. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.